Hey, so today is going to be a short reading because section 5 is very short. So I just wanted to power through this because I didn't get to I actually had wanted to do these sections a little bit earlier this week, but I had a lot going on. And I know that section 6 is a lot. Section 6 and Section 7 are a lot, and I want to devote the time and energy to getting through those sections. Section 6, 7, and 8 are a lot, and so I know like those are probably going to be 2 hours of reading or a little bit less just because digesting it, getting through it. So I just want to get through Section 5. I'm having coffee. It's pretty late, but I have a few things on my agenda before I go to sleep tonight, so I'm going to get right into it. Section 5, Community Support for Breastfeeding. Today, most families plan to breastfeed their new baby. Support from other family members, friends, care providers, and other community members can increase the chances of breastfeeding success. Here are some key points care providers may consider to support families in achieving their desired feeding outcomes. Prenatal, antenatal interactions with expectant parents should include both professional and lay encouragement to consider breastfeeding, acknowledge the normalcy of breastfeeding, elicit and magnify reasons why individuals are attracted to breastfeeding, elicit and address individual concerns about breastfeeding, provide opportunities for the family to observe and ask questions of other breastfeeding families. Cover the core topics for antenatal education identified by the global standards of the Baby Friendly Hospital Initiative. The importance of breastfeeding, the definition of exclusive breastfeeding, and recommendations that exclusive breastfeeding continue through the first 6 months. Risks associated with feeding formula and other breast milk substitutes. Actually, about the formula feeding, I think that the WIC offices are not going into depth about formula feeding and sharing how to prepare formula. I had a recent client, and also my sister was telling me about how when she got her formula, no one showed her actually how to prepare formula, and it was during my lesson, one of the course lessons of the lactation consultant course, that we actually walked through how to prepare formula, and she had never known, so we actually learned together. So the role of breastfeeding beyond the first 6 months when complementary feeding begins. The fact that breastfeeding continues to be important after 6 months when other foods are given. Provide information about postpartum breastfeeding management strategies associated with breastfeeding success, including immediate, continuous, and uninterrupted skin-to-skin contact. Early initiation of breastfeeding, ideally through self-attachment in the first hours. Basics of good positioning and attachment. Recognizing feeding cues. Feeding on cue. Feeding frequency. Rooming in and minimizing separation. Signs of adequate milk transfer. Audible swallowing beyond the colostral phase. 4+ bowel movements from day 4. So 4 on 4. That's a helpful measurement to remember. I actually highlighted that in the book. 4+ bowel movements from day 4 onward through newborn period, signs of fullness, etc. Exclusive breastfeeding, avoiding the use of breast milk substitutes unless medically indicated. Avoiding the use of pacifiers and artificial nipples until breastfeeding is well established. Provide opportunities to visualize how breastfeeding will fit into family life. Provide opportunities to establish friendship ties with other families with close due dates. Provide information about postpartum community breastfeeding support. Factors that discourage breastfeeding. Coupons, bags, and other free gifts from manufacturers of breast milk substitutes. Breast milk substitutes advertised on social media, in print media, and on television as the cultural norm, while breastfeeding is discouraged in public. Care providers, family members, and peers who may discourage breastfeeding. Fear of pain and embarrassment. Fears about the adequacy of milk supply. Fears about inadequacy of breast size or appearance. Factors that affect the duration of breastfeeding: scheduled, delayed, or time feedings, inadequate number of feedings, inadequate transfer of breast milk to the baby, inverted nipple that does not evert during suckling, concerns about perceived inadequate milk production. This is also a common reason for the introduction of breast milk substitutes and weaning foods before the recommended age of around 6 months. Breast surgery that has damaged lactiferous ducts and or breast nipple innervation or circulation. Conditions that can impact the baby's ability to feed effectively, such as prematurity, cleft lip or palate, etc. Postpartum community support for breastfeeding families should include ensuring that families are aware of and connected with breastfeeding support resources in their community, both formal and informal sources of breastfeeding support, education, and follow-up, e.g. peer as well as professional support. Assessment of an entire breastfeed, including pre-feeding behaviors and support to address any uncomfortable or ineffective aspects. Reinforcing the importance of cue-based feeding as a strategy for optimizing self-regulation of intake and potentially decreasing obesity rates. Prompt referral to primary healthcare provider as needed. I just want to take a moment to talk about the cues, and we talked about the cues in previous section, but really when you are talking with your families, you really want to circle in on those cues. So we know that baby crying is a late stage cue, and it may cause the baby to not feed as well as if you catch them in the REM sleep. So that's when their eyes are closed and moving. There's also the fist to mouth, the sucking, the licking the lips. All of those early stages are all those cues are early stage cues that you want to really catch and you want to share with your families to catch. So it's really good that when you go and you visit your families, if you're a doula, you go and visit your family in the home, observe the context, and then observe a cue and let the family know, because even if they've had a baby before and they breastfed before, they may not know the exact cues to look for or the best time to start breastfeeding. So that is the end of 6. That's the end of section 5. I will say that it's really important that you get the book. You really need to get the book. Even if I'm reading and you're listening to the book, it's important that you have the book because you're going to need it when you do the assessments. So please purchase the book and read through it. It's really going to help you with your assessments. With that said, good night. Thank you.